They never found the body. What if he decides to come back?
This is the Horrible Film School. Take a seat, rip open those trapper keepers. My name is Chris Purdy, and I am here with Mr. Ryan Hootie.
What's up, fellas? Excited to get through this franchise as we know it.
You say that. You're going to miss this guy. And the big bro, Mr. Nasty, also known as Joey.
His name was Robert Paulson. Now, I got this little thing I better get ready. Terrifier, you'll get caught up by the Terrifier. Don't get chopped up by the Terrifier. Terrifier 2, let's go.
I dig it. Today's assignment, 2022's Terrifier 2. A lot of T's in there. Today's lesson, continue to avoid clowns.
That's short and sweet and to the point, huh?
So yeah, Joseph, this was your choice, piggybacking off of our last episode, which was mine, broadcasting Terrifier to the world. I'll let you take it over here.
Yeah, I figured we'd mix it up a little bit, just get straight to a sequel.
Oh yeah, mix it up.
We did. Just I knew Hootie, how much Hootie enjoyed the world of Art the Clown.
Fuck.
And David Leon.
It is the first time I could say someone's had an erection for the entirety of our recording. Hootie was really into that first one.
So into it. Had to take a cold shower after the episode.
Whew.
All right, let's hop into this thing with a couple of fan reviews, as always. With my hosting, these two reviews come by way of IMDb, and funny enough, these two reviews also were submitted the same day on October 16th of 2022.
It's actually very cool.
So, on the somebody with a little more upbeat attitude, this username is a bunch of fucking letters. SDTBNHH submits
How do you
his
pronounce
review.
that?
His review is titled Bring a Bucket. Best slasher film in decades. Gross, violent, and depraved. It is perfect. A hair too long, but perfect for me. Way better than Halloween Ends. Art the Clown is the perfect horror character and will be the next Jason, Freddy, or Mr. Myers. Apraxia effects are amazing. I'm not sure what the fuck apraxia is. I guess practical?
Practical? I don't know.
Alright, apraxia effects are amazing as well as the makeup. I'm not joking when I tell you that you might throw up. This is the most graphic horror film you have ever seen, and it isn't even close. I cannot wait for the third one. Nothing you will see this Halloween will even be close. Get to a theater and watch this on the big screen for the full effect. The expressions of the people around you are well worth it.
I wonder what this would have been like in a theater. I bet this would have been fucking
I
nuts,
definitely regret not going to go fucking see it. I wish I had.
It's a very good point.
But getting me out of the house nowadays is like pulling a fucking tooth. All right, let's hear an opposing opinion from Negative Nancy Wild City Sights, titled Ha Ha. Let's face the hard truth here. This movie is garbage, just like the first movie was too. The reason it has so many glowing reviews is for one and all of the following reasons. 1. The reviewer is in some way related to the film's cast or crew and felt obligated to be nice. 2. They were severely intoxicated or semi-unconscious at the time of viewing. 3. They thought Rob Zombie's Halloween movies were cool. 4. They accidentally reviewed the wrong movie. If you're thinking of watching Terrifier 1 or 2, just throw your money into a trash can instead. Or better still, make a donation to the Terrifier Rehabilitation Program.org so we can help some of these poor bastards get their lives back on track. 5 steaming turds out of 5.
Is that an actual website? I'm curious now.
Did somebody just fucking ask Jeeves that shit?
I know shit.
I am confused when we do these, and the fact that somebody will take the time to write that lengthy review on something they just watched. They chose to watch this, and there's no way this movie can be seen as being that bad.
Everything in art, and that includes movies, music, video games, all that bullshit, it's all subjective, right?
That's very true. But the special effects, I feel like it's very hard to not at least appreciate that piece of the
I
film.
feel like when you go out of your way like this as well, you're trying to just like be the contrarian, trying to be cool, you know.
Trying to get on a podcast.
Hey,
Trying to create
it
content.
worked. It worked for you this time, Wild City Sites. Be
Shout out,
to leave,
Wild
be
City.
sure to leave your review for the inevitable Terrifier 3.
Oh yeah. What do you think Wild City is?
Detroit.
Wild City Sites?
Detroit.
Definitely
Detroit.
What's the Wild City that Wild
That
City's
fucking
from?
that fucking burned, charred.
It's probably like Fargo or some
fucking
shit.
hellscape. No, that shit's probably like Vegas or something. All right, as this is the sequel to the movie we just reviewed, not really planning on spending much time talking about the director or anything. It's David Leone once again. This is his baby.
Damien Leone, damn it.
Is it Damien or David?
Damien.
Leone?
His name's all over this thing. It's Damien.
But
I
it's
think my
Leone.
No, it's
I'm
Leone.
saying Leone because it sounds cool.
Okay.
Correction, no offense, Damien Leone. But yeah, this is Damien Leone's baby. This character, this story, this world of Terrifier. Directed Terrifier 1 as well as All Hallows
I
Eve.
heard about this.
Yes. We
Don't
talked
you
about this
skip
at
over
length.
the other one. Don't you skip over the other one, Joy.
What's
Boy,
the other
we
one?
skipping hoots.
Frankenstein versus the Mummy.
Hey, there we go.
One
Did you
on
ever go
one.
back and watch that?
No, I did not. I didn't have time to watch
Wow.
that shit.
That's a
Instead, you watched the fucking whale.
That's exactly right. That's exactly right. That's what I choose doing my time. If there's two things I know about Mr. Damien Leone, is that he loves skinny brunettes and Toyotas. Because he named a character Sienna.
Before we actually go any further, can we talk about how hot this girl is?
Yeah, it's a bit much.
Dude, she is fucking smoking hot. Oh my
Yeah,
gosh.
she is.
She is
I'm
so fucking fine.
She looks so like borderline of age to me during the entire movie.
Well, the actress is obviously a little bit older than the character.
I understand, but she looks very young.
I put it in the mindset that she's in college. Super fucking hot. Mr. Skin didn't have shit. I also want to talk about Paul Wiley. Not sure if we talked about him in the last review that we did for Terrifier 1, but he composed the music for this movie as well as Terrifier 1, and it's really good. Like, it's not, I wouldn't say it's like super memorable or anything, but in terms of like an electronic, dread style horror soundtrack, it's pretty great.
That Halloween party song, we're going to talk about that. That was awesome.
Yeah, I liked all the stuff with lyrics was good too.
That's a banger.
I didn't know if it was like original music or not. It was all new to me, so for all I know, he wrote and composed all that too. But if he did not, he does have good musical taste.
Yeah, I looked at the guy's picture on IMDb. He has a very much a Trent Reznor type look to him. He's not the only musician we'll talk about on this.
Oh,
as we'll
God.
get to
Don't you call
somebody a
him a
little bit later.
musician.
No. Okay. Have you listened to any of his shit? I know you say you probably listen to 5 seconds. He's actually kind of decent for a kid.
I can't stand him. But yes, I've listened to some of his music.
All right.
Who
Well,
the
let's
hell are we
move.
talking about?
You'll find out.
Jonathan. Yeah, the kid with the glasses.
He's a musician,
Oh, he's a YouTube musician.
like Kids Bop or some shit.
No. You need to go listen to some of his stuff after we get done with this. Let's move on to interesting factoids. I got one. I'm not trying to step on anybody's feet. I'm going to let you guys run with this. Hopefully you got a little bit more than me. But the movie grossed over $10 million on a $250,000 budget due to an extended stay in theaters past what was supposed to be a limited one-weekend theatrical release. That's fucking massive.
Yeah, that's pretty nuts.
I'm shocked that they pulled this off for $250,000. That seems absurd.
This is a very good-looking movie.
I don't know how much of that was a marketing budget because it didn't really have marketing, but the word of mouth was insane on this movie. That's the reason I even was conscious of the franchise to bring it to the show, was just word of mouth. So they probably saved a lot of money not having to promote it.
Well, hey, they save a lot of money too, as well, with Damien Leone being the fucking story by
One-man show.
the writer, the director, as well as editing. Which
Right.
the editing part kind of hurts. Hootie, anything?
Just the fact that I don't know if it's true or not, but there's a lot of speculation that It was so violent, people were vomiting and fainting in the movie theaters. And I read a little note that said, in one instance, an ambulance was called.
This movie is pretty intense. Like, the scenes of violence and shit in this movie is intense for somebody who hadn't just seen Terrifier 1.
I was going to say, did you guys feel like coming out of Terrifier immediately before this kind of got you ready for this?
Oh, yeah. Any sense of, like, any sort of feelings whatsoever, I stopped having a long time ago in my life. So just watching this
particular flavor, it's unique, and you just had like a taste of it. So.
Oh, yeah. You're definitely numb to it, just based off of what we watched 2 weeks ago.
I think for me, that piece, Chris, was a negative, actually. From one side, I now understand Art, and the times where he was, being funny and his mimes and shit, I loved it. This is awesome. He was like grinning and shit and throwing his hands up. But the just kill after kill after kill. I feel like in the past couple weeks, because of you fellas, I've watched people's heads get chopped off, I think 40 fucking times. And at some point, I was like, okay, I get it. All right, cool.
That's what I'm saying, man. Like, if I would have shown you this, like, out of the blue, you would have been shocked. But now, we've done drowned you in it. You're desensitized to it.
Yeah, like, whenever he's, like, holding somebody's head with a knife, okay, good, chop it off. Great, moving on.
Interesting.
It's also positive for you, because I don't think we can get much more vile and depraved. Well, we can, but I doubt we'll do those anytime soon, just because we're probably going to need a palate cleanser or two or three or four after this movie.
I hope so.
Could we watch, like, Child's Play Part 2 or something next?
That would be dope. I love that.
What about one of the Annabelle sequels?
God.
Oh, fuck my ass. I'll jump off a fucking cliff.
You're going to be missing Art then.
So before we jump into the film, because I had a question, I couldn't find it on the internet. This film was shot in a very nostalgic way. Do you fellas know what he did to achieve that?
You mean as far as the actual, like, the grain of the film?
The grain.
That 80s look that it's got to it?
Yes.
I don't know. It definitely felt like it was in-camera stuff. Like, it didn't seem like a post-production thing to me. Like, he didn't go in and apply a bunch of filters, but I may be wrong. When it being so new, like I said, for me doing the research, it's hard to find information about the movie because there's no, like, lore to it yet because it hasn't been out long enough. So I'm not sure, but if I had to guess, probably some old lenses or something.
Yeah, if you can educate me on that, I ain't got a fucking clue.
Okay.
That ain't my forte.
I thought it added a lot to the film instead of just shooting like a clean picture.
All right, let's dive in, shall we?
Aren't you a little old to be trick-or-treating? Wait a minute, aren't you that guy from the costume shop? You are. What are you doing here?
Terrifier 2 picks up where the original left off. 1 year ago in Miles County, New York, with a very much alive Art, bashing in the head of a coroner just before raiding his office and filling his trademark trash bag with all sorts of medical implements and chemicals. Armed once more with his instruments of pain, Art does what anyone else would after the bloodbath, heading to a local laundromat to tidy up. After some nude patty cake with his imaginary dysenteric friend and a quick watch courtesy of the coroner's change, Art is back to his dapper, murderous self, impaling a fellow laundry patron's head on a broomstick. Title card.
I think it's interesting here that you open a horror movie with the villain. You don't get this a lot. Usually you're going to set up your protagonist, or you might set up just like somebody getting killed off quickly. You don't really just, let me follow Freddy Krueger for 5 minutes to start the movie. It's kind of weird. It's kind of unique. I don't know what it is about this franchise, but I don't know, it keeps surprising me. I'm really digging it, man.
In that sense, it takes like a Halloween 2 approach, right?
I've blocked that movie out entirely, so I don't recall.
Because it takes place with, like, through Michael's eyes, where we're seeing, him escape from the police and all that shit.
Them damn blue jeans.
Them damn police.
Police, baby.
Art reading the newspaper fucking cracked me up, dude.
Oh, butt naked reading the fucking newspaper.
He stripped down. That was awesome.
Laughing his ass off, not making any noise.
He's seeing like fucking people burn up in a fire or people being murdered. He's pointing and fucking just laughing to himself.
It's just nuts that, like, going into Terrifier, how anxious I was about, like, the horror, the body horror, all that kind of crazy shit. I didn't think this would be a franchise where I would be laughing, but A movie later, I'm fucking cracking up in the first 5 minutes.
See, as much as I hate calling him a clown, all right, I guess everybody else calls he's a mime, but you know,
It's a version of a fucking
you
clown.
hear
We've done this once already.
you hear killer clown. You think, okay, what can be done with this that wasn't done in It or any of these other like clown movies? Just his body language, you know, the way he's able to emote through his facial expressions. We've talked about it in the last episode. There's gonna be a lot of rehash, you know, in this review. But yeah, just the way he conducts himself and his physical performance is David Howard Thornton is fantastic. He just makes you laugh at like the most sadistic shit.
After watching the second installment, he has supplanted himself just like Robert Englund did, to where I don't think this character can be achieved without him going forward.
Also had a note about the menses squirting out of this little imaginary girl.
Wait, the what?
Her menses, her period. I don't know what
That
it was.
wasn't a period. That was shit.
I thought it was diarrhea too, yeah.
You fucking disgusting ass
It
bastard.
came out of the crotch area, and it just freaked me out right off the gate.
I think it's a common thing with like these entities in this universe, like because a big part of Terrifier 1 is clowns or Art's
Terrible diarrhea.
propensity for fucking bean-filled and blood-filled shit.
What
Just
do you
being
think they eat?
smeared. Oh, people.
Oh, so it's people's shit.
It's all that
Yeah,
protein,
we've
man.
seen that. Yeah, we've seen
Gotcha.
that. We see
We've
that later
established
on in the
that.
movie. That shit that little shit just came out of nowhere, man. It was so
Yeah.
fucking good. It set the tone for the movie for sure.
Who is this creepy little girl sitting across the laundromat? Cut to just fucking pulling in the floor. I was like, what the hell?
Oh, it wasn't even just pulling in the floor. There was like a 10-second sequence of him just showing the damn shit coming out of her pussy hole or ass or whatever it was.
And her and Art were just...
They were vibing, dude. They were feeling
They were
each other,
feeling it.
man. Playing patty cake.
This little girl is my least favorite part of the entire film.
Bullshit. Get
She
outta
does a good
here,
job.
man.
I couldn't figure.
What are
No.
you talking about?
She does a great job. I'm not talking about her as an actress. She does a fantastic job. I was very confused on whether she was real or not, because at times people can see her and at times people can't see her.
This is part of what's going to be explained in Terrifier 3 or 4. I think it was a mistake introducing this character like that and having her, you know, be involved the way she was and not having it explained, but we'll talk about that shit later on.
Gotcha. Okay.
What about the gore effects as soon as the movie started, though? With him popping the eye out and putting his eye in his head? How crazy.
It felt like putting on like the pair of shoes I just took off, you know. I was like, yeah, I'm back right in it.
Already
Never left.
back in it.
I, like to you, Chris, I was like, oh, here we go again. All right, let me just
Right back in it. I know what I'm settling in for 2.5 hours of this. again.
put the food back down I was eating, and
Present-day Miles County. Cosplay enthusiast Sienna, played by Lauren Lavera, we talked about her a little bit earlier. She is appeared in that shitty Iron Fist show on Netflix in 2017 with Finn Jones from GOT.
Oh, man, I forgot about that show.
literally never heard
You
of
and
it.
everybody else, apparently.
It was a Marvel show, Iron Fist.
Oh, yes, okay, that came back to me
Yeah,
now.
it was the first bad one, wasn't it?
But cosplay enthusiast Sienna and her morbidly curious art superfan little brother Jonathan Shaw, played by Elliot Fullman, semi-popular YouTube musician, bond over memories of their deceased father, all while Sienna assures Jonathan that Art the Clown is dead and will never be coming back. With a malicious mime on the mind, a Nightmare on Elm Street-esque dream sequence ensues at the Clown Cafe with special guest Art the Clown, once again played by David Howard Thornton. And Sienna's latest costume wings are set ablaze by some unlit supernatural candles. Supermom Barbara rushes to the rescue, fire extinguisher in tow, and saves the day. Inspecting her charred and ruined work, she discovers her father's gladius, which is a sword, unscathed among the ash.
So I got a question about the Jonathan kid here, since you're saying he's a famous. How do we feel about the strap that goes behind his head that holds his glasses onto his face?
I didn't even fucking notice that, dude.
Is that a thing? I thought that was
He's
like a
got
sunglasses
he's got
thing.
the Abdul-Jabbars.
Yeah, he does.
It's a big deal for like 50-year-old accountants, but you know.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what's funny is I think that's actually that kid's aesthetic in real life.
This
Like
is
his
vibe
fucking
on
YouTube channel. Yeah, his YouTube channel is like.
We ought to give him a shout out, man. Let's
That's what we're
plug
doing.
him.
We're giving him a fucking shout out right now.
I mean, I'm gonna link him in the show notes. This kid, if if he wants to give us an interview, I'd be glad to talk to
So
him.
you were being serious about this kid being a musician on YouTube?
Yeah.
This is not the
he's
musician.
He's got a like I said, semi-popular, semi-successful. He does interviews and shit of like actual like metal musicians. He's a big metalhead.
It's another musician in this movie I thought you were talking about, but
Oh, it's another musician.
we will
Oh, there is another one. I thought you were talking about.
we will get there.
Hootie's
get
a
there.
big fan.
Yeah, but yeah, this kid right here is actually halfway decent from what I've heard. I mean, it's that's coming from somebody whose musical tastes have been the same since high school, like 15 fucking years ago. But yeah, give the guy a listen. Elliot Fullman. His YouTube channel is Little Punk People, I think is the title.
We'll check it out. I'll put it in the notes if I can find it.
Yeah.
I was going to say, we're talking about this girl, Sienna, how beautiful of a person she is. It took me a bit, but came back around and wrapped it up into my notes, who she reminded me of, and it was Anya Taylor-Joy.
God, yes. Those alien fucking eyes of hers, dude.
If you look at her, it's like the same face almost, so kind of brought me into the witch vibes and the Viking and all that. I also had a note here about the dream sequence, the Art Crispies. That shit was badass, dude. It says David Howard Thornton, who plays Art the Clown, did in fact have a speaking role. He did the voiceover for the Art Crispies cereal commercial during the dream sequence.
You know who it put me in mind of? And I think was purposefully done that way? Joker from Batman animated series. The Mark Hamill one.
It's funny you say that because I actually looked it up. This is the only reason I knew he did the voice, because I was like, did Mark Hamill contribute his fucking voice to this, like this commercial? But I thought that was a pretty cool note. And then Art with the Tommy gun. Just something about that visual was really fucking cool.
He was so happy.
I started laughing, dude. He was digging in that bag for like 5 minutes.
Him in that bag, man. Fucking love that bag.
And then the fucking song was a bit of a banger. As annoying as it was kind of entertaining.
The fact that the actor who was set aflame holding the guitar, they held that shot for a good bit.
Just kept strumming that damn band.
That was impressive.
The next morning, back in his super secret hideout with his imaginary daughter, sister, lover, who the fuck is this little girl? Art continues to build his arsenal of makeshift weapons, ready to once again wreak havoc on Halloween night. At school, Jonathan has his own run-in with Art and the little pale girl, catching a dead possum on a well-ran Christian McCaffrey curl route, before bolting in terror. Meanwhile, Sienna learns of the horrific fate of talk show host Monica Brown at the hands of Miles County massacre survivor Vicky from her friends Brooke, played by Kaylee Hyman. That's a fucking terrible last name. She was actually in A Man Called Otto, that Tom Hanks movie.
I had the
So
same
she's
note.
like-
It just came out like a month ago.
Yeah, she's on the way up. And Allie, played by Casey Hartnett, not related to Josh,
Damn it.
causing her to freak the fuck out. If you haven't seen Terrifier 1, first of all, what the hell are you doing listening to this? Go watch it now so you can have a general idea what the hell's going on. But in essence, Monica has her face torn off by deranged and disfigured final girl Victoria Hayes from the original.
Man, I hate a fucking possum. I'll go ahead and say that now. I don't know what it is about possums.
They look the same dead as they do alive, which is like the crazy.
Disgusting.
And you skipped over, there was a cameo that popped up when all the little kids find the possum behind the dumpster, the principal walks out.
Yeah.
And that principal is none other than Sleepaway Camper herself, Felicia Rose. And if anybody's seen Sleepaway Camp, you know what
Wait,
she's
don't
packing.
spoil that shit. Yeah, don't spoil that.
I haven't yet. It's on my
We're going to
list.
watch that movie eventually.
She was the hot principal that wasn't wearing a bra.
Oh, yes.
God, her nipple was so fucking hard. I jumped out of my damn chair when I saw that.
She like whipped back the blazer, and I was like, okay.
All right, we understand.
Appreciate it, Damien. And then them talking shit about Monica at the when they were eating lunch cracked me the fuck up. So she's looking like Mr. Potato Head.
God,
And they said she looked like the inside of a cookie too at one point. That was just so
They
fucking
was
cool.
dogging
This is
her
the
ass,
second
dude.
movie in a row we've just clowned this woman's face for 5 minutes straight. It's fucked up.
Mama Barbara scolds Jonathan, who arrives home via police escort. Lucky John wasn't a minority. His ass would be locked up for marsupial homicide instead of just being grounded for the night. Sister Sienna is resigned to buying some generic China-made garbage shit tier Spirit of Halloween angel wings to finish her costume. And while out shopping with her pal Allie, who does the duo run into? That's right, it's our old pal Art, who's a kid in a candy store in this Halloween shop. After chasing off Sienna with some typical, albeit hilarious antics, the malicious mime proceeds with more of his well-known gags, including jamming a broken bottle into the store clerk's eye, followed by a pretty standard decapitation. Kinda bland and uninspired considering Art's previous works. Back home, Jonathan and Sienna discover via their deceased father's sketchbook that he's a medium, or was going crazy, or some shit, and he's somehow connected to Art the Clown.
So at any point did you guys think that Art was their dad? There kept being these allusions to their dad, and he went crazy, and he kept drawing Art, and he drawing like all this gross, like decapitated people and shit like that. You never came around like, but if Art is their fucking dad.
No, I never had that.
That's why he's
thought.
stalking them.
I figured he worked at the fucking eventual carnival or whatever. I think because he kept like clippings and stuff from what happened there. We'll talk about that a little bit later. But in terms of him actually being related to the family, not really.
Oh shit, maybe it's just me.
I mean, it's a very good take though. I could see that happening in the third one, but in this one, I didn't get that.
God, let's hope it happens in the third one. They ain't telling us shit.
There's a lot to unpack in the Halloween shop. First of all, the scene where he's trying on the different glasses. I was dying laughing, man. That was awesome.
That's what I'm talking about with this guy. Like, yeah, he's a sadistic, psychopathic fucking murderer, but he's so charismatic and just makes you... He's the fucking protagonist, you know?
It's interesting you say that because David, you didn't fuck me up. Damien.
You know what fucked me up
really?
on that? David Howard Thornton. Just reading the name.
Fair enough. But it's interesting you mentioned that about the protagonist-antagonist argument because I was reading an interview Damien did after this it came out, and essentially what he said was the biggest criticism of the first movie was that it was just a vehicle for Art. Like, he was the protagonist. Everyone else was kind of shitty characters you weren't even made to really care about. And this was the first time he actually introduced a protagonist that he put a lot of work into that had some motivations and actual backstory and stuff, and Sienna and brother Jonathan, so...
Oh, he's according to him, he's been trying to get this character like on film.
I think he
for
said he'd been
years.
working on it for 10 years or something like that. This character
and Art are like his, his babies.
Yeah, this is his Laurie Strode.
All this murder and mayhem must work up an appetite as Art goes trick or treating. First house on the list, Allie's, and unfortunately for her, she's home alone. The bitch refuses to give our favorite black and white jester any treats and thus gets the trick she deserves. A complete and total savage butchery at Art's hands. I mean, holy fuck. What happens to this girl, even for me, that was some pretty over-the-top shit. Especially when the Clorox and salt came into play. And when her mom comes home and finds her upstairs being further mutilated by Art and she's somehow alive. Fucking wild.
Yeah, I think this is what Damien said he was trying to do to upstage the hacksaw scene from the first one. Said he saw a picture in a book, or I guess somewhere, of a Jack the Ripper crime scene. And he said you couldn't even tell it was a human being anymore, so his idea was kind of to restage that as if Art did that, what would it look like? So that's kind of where the inspiration came from. And the fucking salt, man, that was just next level fucking cruelty, dude.
Alright, so we've all seen this now, like, which one was more brutal, man? What happened to Dawn or what happened to Allie?
For me, it's still the hacksaw, man.
Yeah?
I think it's just the shock of it.
I think for me it's Allie because somehow, unbelievably, Allie lasted longer. Like, at some point, sawing somebody in half did eventually kill her. Allie just, kept staying alive. What a trooper.
I feel like what happened to Allie was much more brutal, but what happened to Dawn was much more shocking. Just to have her, like, displayed like that in front of her friend, and then to do that, like, in front of her friend. That was fucking wild.
Art asking for candy one was fantastic.
Yeah, it was good.
But, so he cuts her skull off. He, like, fillets her back.
Oh, no, he doesn't cut his skull. He scalps her.
Scalps her. There you go.
She's
Scalps
scalped.
her. And, fully scalped. Brain is
Oh,
exposed.
yeah, fully scalped.
And then she falls on the ground and Art leaves. And when he comes back, he looks so fucking excited.
Oh, yeah, you think the madness is over when he leaves, because it's like she's crawling towards her phone, which is ringing.
Yeah, but it plays on for so long, I start to get uncomfortable again. I'm like, this motherfucker's going to come back with some more horrible shit.
And he comes in grinning from ear to ear.
Some more notes here about the practical effects in the scenes. Obviously, this was the big scene as far as all the effects and the gore and stuff. He made a life-size puppet of Allie, and that's what you see on the bed when the mom enters the room. And the reason it looks like it's the actual actress in prosthetics is because they actually use the digital. They put her eyes on the dummy, so it looks like when she's blinking, it's a human eyeball that blinks, so it looks like a real person.
Yeah.
So that was just a little touch of digital effect to make it look even more realistic.
Again, $250,000 budget. It's just impressive.
I think there's only 2 moments in the movie where they actually use special effects. It's this scene right here and the Halloween store kill. When the guy's on the ground, I think they digitally put his face on the actual the dummy. But as far as modern cinema and how they use special effects, this is a fucking drop in the bucket. So
2 5-second uses of CGI that definitely, I think, elevate the props that are in use here.
Yeah.
Because it took me, man, that's the moment of shock is when she kind of comes to and she's laying there in pieces. It's like, fuck, man. It's like the exclamation mark on this god-awful scene.
Oh, it was definitely, it was brutal, but in my opinion, the good kind of brutal.
It's referred to as the bedroom scene. If you hear anybody talk about this movie, the bedroom scene, this is what they mean.
So the hacksaw scene and the bedroom scene.
That's the two that it's known for, the hacksaw scene and the bedroom scene.
Dude,
So.
Terrifier 3 is going to have some
What's
crazy
next?
fucking shit, dude.
Ryan Hootie's house scene.
Down at my local bar, talking about Terrifier 2. Hey, how about the bedroom scene? You know what? How about it?
Bedroom scene. Pass the salt.
Licking the rim of your fucking margarita. You're just thinking,
Damn, I want extra salt on this shit.
man, I wish this had some Clorox in it, bro. Sienna, dressed in her sexy-ass Valkyrie garb, heads out with Brooke to a Halloween bash at a local club where she proceeds to get fucked up while Art plays nice, giving out candy to the local trick-or-treaters. Of course, using Allie's mom's head as a candy ball. Jonathan, being the psycho little shit he is, decides to give Barb a piece of his mind, calling her a bitch, which leads to him getting what he's deserved this entire fucking movie. A literal bitch slap to the face. Unable to handle a little corporal punishment or discipline, he runs off into the night. But not before pulling some alpha shit and TPing his mom's car and covering in shaving cream. Or did he? Little Jonathan Dahmer. Little
Johnny Dahmer.
Little Jonathan Dahmer Jr. spots the little pale girl in a black van parked a few blocks away from his house and overhears his mother's pleas to come back. Over the radio, the kid races home, but far too late. Upon cleaning the shaving cream from the driver window, Barbara comes face to face with the demon himself and a sawed-off double barrel. Boom goes the dynamite, and so does Barb's head, covering the walls in head cheese and gore.
Okay, let's back up, way back to the club, or whatever, the Halloween party. The
I
song.
fucking hated that scene. I wanted to get past it.
I'm
hated
sorry.
that scene?
I did not like
thought it
the
was fun.
fucking. I felt that was such filler, man.
The song was such a banger that was playing.
Yeah, this song, the music, all the music at that club was fucking dope, man. It's like one of the coolest Halloween parties I've ever seen on screen.
Completely unbelievable, but yes.
Her outfit is legitimately badass.
She has a
Oh, yeah,
four-pack,
that's great.
Yeah, this chick is ripped.
and
too.
she's supposedly single at this party. Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, my fucking ass.
Yeah, there's no way that chick stays
Yeah,
single
I
for
mean,
more than
yeah.
10 seconds.
But
In a world with Instagram, there's no fucking way.
Well, no, in the world of OnlyFans, she has to pretend to be single.
yeah, it's true. It's true.
It's true.
Gotta protect the product. When Art hands the candy out in the mom's skull, and he smacks that fat kid's hand from getting extra, was awesome.
I thought that was kind of sweet, man. It's, like I said, this is more of that. This continues to surprise me. Like, we know what kind of person he is, but there's this kid. He's reaching for a second piece of candy. His little fat hand holds up one finger, and then that's it. Doesn't hurt anybody. That's it. Fucking great.
Oh, that was awesome.
I also say when she's prepping her suit, this is kind of funny. Joy was talking shit about the editing. When she's actually making her suit, it is a very well edited scene. I particularly noticed how well it was edited. The way the camera is moving, the way everything's cut, the montage bit of it. And you didn't even mention the side boob in the shower. I thought that would be your thing, Joe.
That was a body double.
Oh.
Those were some
100% that was a body double. That was
Is
not
this
her
confirmed or just your...
No. That's for me seeing titties for the past 30-some years in
he's
cinema.
a professional.
And no one...
It's a professional's take there.
She literally wears a goddamn bra for the remainder of the movie. This costume is a glorified bra. You can tell by the size of her titties in this bra, that ain't her titties.
It did make me question it because you see the scene in the shower, and those things are very much orb-like. Yeah. And afterwards, I was like, does she have a huge chest? Like, I was trying to wasn't paying attention just to be disgusting, but I was like, is that the same person,
I mean, I'm not trying to pull...
I think you might be right.
I'm not trying to pull rank as a titty scientist or anything like that, but...
I believe you already have,
the
sir.
female body inspector.
Yeah, FBI, baby. Yes, that wasn't her. That was a body double, 100%.
Also, like the Michael Myers shout-out, had the Bob Halloween costume on. The shitty boyfriend at the Halloween party had the sheet with the glasses.
The glasses and the sheet, yeah. There was a lot of, I think there was a lot of, Easter eggs in this scene. There was actually, like, a Clerks outfit, like a Movies from Clerks 2 outfit.
And the guy's T-shirt was just the tip. Had a butcher's knife with a little bit of blood on the tip.
A little bit of foreshadowing, maybe. Yeah, and I think David Howard Thornton was actually out in the crowd as well. I think I read that he was dressed as, like, Satan or something, like a demonic character, to where he could hang out with the extras and stuff.
That's cool.
Yeah. That dude is so... He's, like... I've watched some shit on YouTube, and him and Damien Leone actually go and they'll comment on different stuff, like, on the YouTube pages about the movie. These guys are, like, really, really passionate.
I'm shocked and also kind of intrigued that he does horror cons dressed as art and, like, I guess does autographs and whatnot. What would that be like?
Speak?
That's what I'm saying. What would that be like to meet?
So
one thing, it's
cool,
fucking
man.
terrifying.
Well, I'm
but
sure,
secondly,
like, booths and stuff like that, he probably speaks, but while he's, like, just, mingling with the crowd and stuff, he probably doesn't speak at all.
I hope he doesn't speak at all.
Dedicated. He'd have to at the actual panels and stuff. Well, you know what? He
wouldn't do panels.
That would actually be...
He just sits there for an hour.
Yeah, he don't just sit there. He emotes with his face, and he does, hand gestures and stuff.
He slaps your hand if you try to, like, get more than 2 autograph pictures.
That'd be great. Oh, man.
You know what's weird? I mean, what's not weird, but it's kind of amazing almost to admit was 3 weeks ago, I had no interest in watching this shit, and now I want to meet David Howard Thornton. It's fucking insane.
Do you want to meet him in full art clown makeup?
I'll take it, man.
God.
I want to meet him. That's crazy, right? This is the power of the genre.
I really enjoyed the mom. I thought the mom was a fantastic mom. I just liked her style. And I didn't feel like she got the kill that she deserved. It was a quick...
Flying head from the shotgun blast.
Quick.
Too quick for you?
It's too quick. Like, we saw in the first film that Art hates guns. But he chose to use a gun.
No. He loves guns.
He didn't want to resort to a gun with Taro, right?
Well, that was his first resort with the fucking mom.
Oh, yeah, that was... I mean, I guess in that situation, it's like... What you gonna do, stab it through the window?
That's true. Okay, all right.
I think they just like to introduce different implements for him to kill each character with, He, uses something different for every character.
That was like a double-barrel pistol.
He obviously wasn't going to use the double barrel on fucking Jonathan or Sienna.
No, definitely not.
He had to use it at some point, and I guess this was like the last opportunity.
Gotcha.
But yeah, what you said does make sense. Is it being he remember from the first one, like the face he makes after he has to use it. He was
He's sick with himself.
Disgusted with himself. Yeah. Rolling on Molly, Sienna is vibing on the dance floor till she spots Art's mini-me in the crowd. Once again, she freaks out in public, making it all about her, ruining Brooke and her fuck buddy Jeff's night. Dude played him. His name Charlie McElvin. What a fucking buzzkill, dude. Sienna's a buzzkill, bro.
I thought she was pretty cool when she was on Molly.
Oh yeah,
She was a lot of
feeling
fun.
it. Oh, she was feeling it. I'm sitting there and I'm watching her like do it and like her rubbing the fucking poles and shit, and I'm like, yeah, she's been drugged.
I was thinking like, there's no way that this is alcohol. No one acts like this on fucking alcohol.
Not at all.
This is her first beer, dog. This is her first.
It's like first Bud Light right here.
Who do you quit plugging this Bud like?
John finally makes it home and finds a lovely dinner spread, along with his mom at the table, her face split in two. Art, playing the role of host, serves up a heaping pile of taters, precious, along with a syringe of knockout juice straight to the boy's neck. Loading the pipsqueak in the van, Art's sidekick dials up Sienna, mimicking her little brother's voice and begging her to pick him up at the old carnival. With Jeff and Brooke in tow, the trio head off to their very likely doom.
Did y'all like the taters in the face scene?
That was fucking awesome.
That was a bit much again. It's hard to say anything's a bit
scoops up the
much.
potatoes and literally punches it into the cavity of
I was like,
Barbara's face.
Fuck, Art, give me a break, man. It's like he's my buddy. Like, take a break, man.
He comes out ringing that little dinner bell.
Jonathan's reaction to seeing his mom dead at the table was very underwhelming. Very,
Yeah,
very,
he's still a kid.
he's
so
still a kid.
give him
Talented kid. Once again, his music and his YouTube channel, talented, but has some work to do on his acting, I think.
He's no Haley Joel Osment. Give him some time. I'll also say here, kind of going back to my Art might be somebody's dad theory. This is just what I was thinking watching the movie. The only two people that can see the pale girl are the brother and sister.
I can't wait for the third one. She's like, oh my God,
This just got layers, man.
you're my dad. It's a great scene.
The Battle Angel searches the abandoned carnival grounds for her little brother, while Brooke acts as an exposition dump back in the truck, talking about the little girl who was killed at the carnival a couple years ago, as well as Sienna's dad, who killed himself after a mind-altering bout with a brain tumor. Sienna is informed via text from Jonathan's phone of his location, a haunted house attraction in the park called the Terrifier. After the waiting couple do a couple of bumps of yayo, Jeff heads behind the truck to drain the main vein, which honestly is just asking for a circumcision when Art's around. Right on cue, the mischievous mime makes his appearance, driving a knife to the tip of Jeff's cock over and over again, eventually tearing it off and mocking Brooke with a dismembered member before dragging her from the vehicle. She manages to break free, but in typical horror chase fashion, trips and maims herself on broken glass or something, making it that much easier for the pursuing Art, who casually strolls behind with his bag of torture toys. Eventually, Brooke traps herself in a blood and shit-soaked bathroom, where Art does what Art do, douses her face in fluoroantimonic acid before caving in her sternum with a homemade spike club, opening her chest, and making it easy for Art to devour her heart.
I learned how they at least saved some of the budget. This haunted house is an actual haunted house that is in Philadelphia.
It looked really good.
Called the Fright Factory, right?
Fly, Eagles, fly.
But yeah, the whole just the tip, him running it on the window, stabbing the guy's cock off, pulling the cock out, rubbing the cock on the windows. It's definitely humorous. And I'm referencing that interview that I saw of Damien's again. He said they had some more bits they were going to do, but even he reached a point where he said, that's just too much, you know? So,
Oh, David Howard
so the
Thornton
dick didn't
wanted
make
to,
it any further than it would have.
Yeah, he wanted to take it and fucking like blow it up like a damn balloon.
Yeah, he said
That was
like
his
he'd
whole
blow
deal.
it up like a balloon animal.
Yeah, that was his whole deal. That would have been so
Yeah,
fucking
he's
good.
going
But
like full chaos.
that was, I think Damien said it was even over the top for him, you know?
I think David Howard Thornton has a lot of contribution to the character this go around, especially. And they kind of came up with a lot of the kills and would elaborate on the kills because they had to shut down for COVID right when they were about to finish this movie. So that might be why we have more excess here than we're used to for all the art stuff.
So of the few notes I was able to conjure up from this fresh movie, one was about the acid that is thrown on Brooke. And the acid is, I'm going to butcher what this is actually called, fluorantimonic acid, which is known as a super acid. and is one of the strongest acids in the world. Coming into direct contact with it will automatically kill you.
Obviously. That shit was rough. I didn't even pick up on the fact he got it in that first scene when he left the coroner's office.
Oh, yeah.
What is it used for? Like cleaning dead bodies?
It's
Or?
probably
guess,
to dissolve like
God,
fucking bone or some shit.
I'd be terrified to use it. Did you appreciate the fact that he didn't have the cat o' nine tails in this scene, Joey? That he had some kind of like makeshift table leg full of nails and screws?
The club?
The club, there you go.
Yeah, the fucking club was dope, man. We saw him building that back in his little hideout. It's just more murderous clown ingenuity, you know?
Yeah, it was
Like,
it
he
was
literally
brutal.
nails, like, he fucking hammers nails. He hammers forks. There's fucking knives. Everything. It's just anything out of a kitchen that you could think of is just, like, in this club. The spine-chilling screams of her friend bring Sienna to the horrific scene where she finds Brooke splayed open and torn apart as Art watches on. The shrieks also bring a now-awoken Jonathan, who distracts the macabre mime long enough for Sienna to stab him with a nailed board, allowing Jonathan to escape. Art proceeds to beat the ever-living shit out of Sienna, knocking her out and taking off in pursuit of her brother. Just as the kid finds the exit and heads through it, Art grabs him by the throat and slashes him up good with a scalpel, mocking him with his trademark mimicry. Unbeknownst to either of them, however, is Sienna, now awake and on her feet, armed with the spiked club. She bashes it into the oblivious Art's back, and the two exchange blows before she plants the club in the back of his head, giving the brother-sister duo an opening to escape.
I did not want him to get her costume dirty when he was throwing her around the shitty bathroom. That was like my first note in that scene. I'm like, this beautiful costume's about to get fucking
He
destroyed.
smashes her face into that dookie smeared window or mirror,
Yeah,
bro.
there's a lot of Duke going on here. And then him cutting up the kid, man. What did y'all feel about him cutting up the kid?
I didn't think that would happen, but when he did,
Me
I
either.
was cool with it. Whatever.
I don't know. It kind of gave me pause.
Why did it give you
That
pause?
was like one of his rules in a way, you know?
So you could watch some girl be dipped in fucking acid and want to be like covered in salt and chlorine.
Those
after
are
being-
adults, man. Those are adults in my mind.
Wait a minute.
Had her-
Wait a minute.
Don't forget she had her back flayed. Like he flayed her back.
Yeah, I brought that up. Pause the show. You have an issue because he's a kid?
Yes.
He's not even really,
Interesting.
he's like fucking 14.
He's a child.
Oh, get out
Wow.
of here.
That's really interesting. I did not have that kind of reaction at all. To me, that's the same level of like brutality.
And I felt like Art kind of has a rule against this. At least I thought to this point. Like the kids that came like trick-or-treating, he didn't hurt them, you know? Like I thought there was like a boundary almost in his head.
It's all situational with this guy.
Yeah.
But again, if you look into the lore, like theories online, people say the pale girl that he's seeing was actually his first victim that died at this carnival. Because we saw her in the newspaper clipping talking about his first victim. Or talking about a girl that went missing at this carnival. Yada, yada, yada. So the idea is that she was his first victim, and that's why he sees her. That's his projection of this force.
Interesting. Okay.
Food for thought. So he is a child killer, but I don't know. I didn't want to see it.
We'll just call him an equal opportunity killer. No matter age, no matter creed, no matter sex, no matter breed, you're getting fucking cut up, bitch.
Arch is coming after you.
Just stay a fuck away from this place. Looking for an exit from the haunted attraction, Sienna and Jonathan find themselves in a staged satanic church, surrounded by hooded mannequin acolytes. It's not long before Mr. Supernatural pops out from the hooded crowd and proceeds to beat the pair with some grisly homemade whip. In a turn of events, the Valkyrie grabs the torture device as it hits her arm and turns the tide, beating Art mercilessly, eventually jamming a piece of rebar through his head. This reprieve is only momentary, however, as he springs back to his feet, strangling Sienna as Jonathan managed to wrestle away the sawed-off shoddy from under Art's pants leg. A load of buckshot to the chest later, and Art is down for the count, as is Sienna, as she passes out from the trauma.
So I know we talked about the end of the first one. You weren't a big fan of the resurrection and like the magical aspects, I guess.
The
That's this
supernatural
villain.
stuff.
Yeah, and it's So here, I feel like it's almost expected. Like, you don't really have the right to be as offended.
Oh yeah, I
You
mean,
feel that way?
I still don't like it. I mean, I still don't like the supernatural aspect of this movie at all. But it is what it is. I mean, in order to have the character survive or the art to survive, you kind of have to have that. You know, I mean, you can't have your goddamn chest hit with a shotgun blast and then roll credits.
For me, it got old with how many times he should have died, and he just kept coming back. And I was like, okay, we get it. Like, we could have just, I don't know. That did get boring to me.
I got some more internet canon here
Well,
for you.
they're
It might
all right,
make some sense.
not to interrupt you, but they're already in fucking Halloween 4 or Halloween 4 and 5 territory, right?
Well, from what I understand, based on what some shit people have said online and some of the director's comments, I guess the idea, what I took about it, what made the most sense to me was the fact that this little girl represents some kind of like force, and she resurrected him at the end of the first one with the flashing lights and shit. And we notice her eyes are always flashing lights too. So whatever she is what's resurrecting this guy. So what we saw at the end of the first one was his first actual death. Like, that person died, and this is like some kind of force that's resurrecting him to do some, just cause hell on earth, I guess, at this point. Kind of like the Deadlights with Pennywise.
I don't like it being so abstract to where there has to be fan theories. I mean, I guess it's good that it's not explained, because where do you go from here? Like, there's no mystery left if you do explain it. I mean, you want to see these, and they better fucking explain it in the next one. But it's just very, it's nerve wracking. You know, I want to fucking know. I feel like it's a kind of a cop out.
Lazy booking.
Well, I think he's got something in his mind that he was
yeah. From what I've heard, he's got plans for fucking Terrifier 4 already.
Yeah.
So
I don't think it's lazy, and I think the fact that he kind of introduces horror fantasy with like this supernatural good and this supernatural evil type of deal.
I guess for me, it just comes from a place of like greed. You know, I want more. Even though 2 hours and 30 minutes is a long run time, I want more. I want more information and less fucking filler. After a brief vision where she learns the fate of her mother, Sienna snaps to, discovering the art is back at it and has taken her bro. She finds the pair down the hall, and Art throws her through an opening in the floor, leaving her even more battered and broken. It's here in this cobblestone basement that she stumbles upon a pit, as well as discovering that Art has taken her dad's sword from her room, as he plunges it deep into her gut. Art returns to attend to Jonathan as she falls into the pit, leaving the Gladius behind as well. And once again, vision time. Lots of visions in this movie. Lots of dream sequences. Lots of them.
I wonder how much Damien is a Bruce Campbell fan, because he's got Sienna dressed up like Xena, the warrior princess. He's got the Necronomicon type book that tells out the entire story of the Chosen One, and he gives her, a nice little dagger weapon. Very Bruce Campbell.
That, and we're actually about to see something in this next scene that's very on the nose for the Evil Dead franchise.
I feel like, kind of like what I was mentioning earlier with fantasy, those are all very much fantasy tropes. These are things you'll find in the Game of Thrones, like these books, these prophecies, these weapons that do this and that. So, I don't know. I kind of dig it, man.
So we're back in the Clown Cafe, except this time, Sienna is submerged in a magician's box surrounded by what looks like deadites. Unable to escape, she drowns. Upstairs, Art begins snacking on Jonathan as he struggles to get free. As all hope seems lost, the sword covered in Sienna's blood begins to glow, and she springs back to life, freeing herself from her cage and plunging the Gladius into the morbid mime's back, and eventually hacks her way through his neck, decapitating him. Before the pair can even relax, the little pale girl appears and strolls away with Art's lifeless head. Roll credits.
Yeah, so again, I think this kind of highlights the theory of her being like the Deadlights of Pennywise. Like, she is something beyond. Whatever she is what's keeping Art going.
She picked his head up so Sam and just walked off.
Oh, she just casually just strolls off. Yeah.
No fight in her. She knows her warrior was down for the count.
So how do we feel about this sword, this plot device sword, just being here and magically bringing her back with no explanation whatsoever?
I think it's the inverse of what I'm saying the little girl's doing. It's the supernatural good.
So this is a movie of good versus evil.
It's every fucking horror movie is, man.
Well, not every horror movie has supernatural aspects.
Terrifier 1 went about that shit.
But obviously, Art has to be in the franchise. He's going to be in the third one. So I'm interested to see how he comes back in the third one. If it's, he's
It's
just got a fucking head.
interesting you say that, Hootie.
It is interesting I say that.
Roll credits. But wait, there's more.
It's a lot more.
Mid
There's
credits.
like 10, 15 minutes more.
Mid credit scene. Victoria is being held in a psych ward in Miles County,
Don't forget Tater Head.
guarded by the lion tamer himself, Chris Jericho.
Also a musician, one of Ryan Hootie's favorite
What a
musicians. Chris
terrible,
Jericho.
terrible musician, wrestler, the whole gamut. I can't stand
Where's
it.
He plays metal, right? What does he play?
He plays like Nickelback metal. I would not. Calling it metal is
Yes.
disrespectful.
Where she gives birth to the reanimated, decapitated head of Art the Clown. I guess evil never truly dies. That shit was fucking crazy.
Her one eye of Taterhead was glowing.
Yeah.
I mean, just like the girls. Just like the little tail girl.
Resurrection, baby.
How visceral was it? Like the afterbirth,
birthing?
the fucking
Yeah.
blood, and her writing on the walls.
Oh, man. She kept yelling cunt and bitch. It was bad. This was brutal, man. More brutality when you thought you were off the hook.
I don't know why I even tried to figure this out. So did Art have sex with her, or is this not even an Art sex thing? Or
I think she is like a vessel because she's a victim that survived him. So like this supernatural force or whatever can use her. Why does it need her? That part I don't know.
why does it need to always be Art the Clown?
I don't know. This is tricky. This is like the Pennywise territory. You don't really know.
Can't wait for Terrifier 3 so we can, finally get some of these questions
Yeah,
answered.
let's fucking start answering some questions instead of creating questions.
Chris Jericho said,
Oh, God.
the reason you see him and then he disappears and we don't see him again, which is weird, right? He's Chris Jericho.
Is he Art the Clown?
This is such Chris Jericho bullshit.
They had to reshoot the ending. This was not the original ending. A movie came out just before this that caused them to have to reshoot this whole thing.
Oh my God! Did
Can
he
you
put
tell me what
Art,
movie that
did
was?
he put Art the Clown in the fucking walls of Jericho?
That would have been badass. I don't. It's like, full disclosure. I don't know what the original ending was. He didn't disclose that, but he did say they had to reshoot this, and I found
What a
out
fucking cock tease.
through some like hidden article what movie they're referring to that caused them to have to reshoot their ending. Any ideas?
I ain't
From
got a fucking clue,
2021.
Is it a well-known movie? Is it starring Chris Jericho? Because I don't fucking know.
No, it's a little movie called *Malignant* that I personally thought was fucking
Chris Jericho
fantastic.
in *Malignant*?
No, they had to reshoot the ending because their ending was exactly what fucking *Malignant* is.
Oh,
Art was going to be growing on the back of her fucking head.
wow.
Dude, that's some Voldemort type shit, bro.
So they had to reshoot that, so that's why it kind of feels truncated. I don't know if Chris Jericho was more of a part
So
of it
wait,
before.
when did they come up with that ending for *Malignant*?
*Malignant* came out in 2021.
So
they
I
were shooting
wonder-
this in 2020.
No, they shot this in 2018.
Yeah,
They shot it through the pandemic. They had to finish it in 2020.
But he had
One.
the idea in the script for that ending, right?
He had his script and they shot it, but *Malignant* came out, and they're like, "Oh, that's our ending. We have to change our ending."
Yeah, I mean,
Shit.
you can't fault.
I wonder who wrote it first. Is what I'm saying. Obviously, J.K. Rowling wrote it first.
James Wan probably. They probably
J.K.
if
Rowling,
it came out,
Baltimore, baby.
if it came out first, then I'm sure it was written first because it takes 3 years to make a movie.
They all ripping off J.K.
Damn, JK.
But the
can't
point
catch a
is,
break.
they had to redo the ending, so take of that what you will.
Bro, I'm so hyped up for Hogwarts.
Shout out to *Malignant*, good movie. Both of these fuckers did.
I did not love it.
It was
at all.
not my cup of tea with the damn breakdancing killer. I didn't get.
Exactly, man. You have no fucking taste.
That's gonna be another revisit for me, dog.
It's a good one.
Maybe you can pick it one day and we can Me and Hootie can talk shit.
Yeah, talk mad shit.
So yeah, that's it. That's Terrifier 2.
All right, boys, let's say bye-bye to our guy Art the Clown. I'm sure we'll probably see him within the next 2 to 3 years, if I had to guess.
Yeah, let's hope it's that long.
Then we'll do a triple series. We'll do a rewatch. Because
Great.
Hootie wants that, of course.
How did we all watch this? I watched it through Amazon.
With my eyes open.
I watched it on Google TV.
I streamed it.
Okay, but we all got like the 2 hour and 18-minute version, right?
Yeah, is there a different version?
I thought I read there was like an unedited version. But is this the unedited version?
No, I don't think so. 218 is what I've seen all over all the documentation.
Yeah, I read somewhere that there's a longer version even available. I don't know if that's true or
I
not.
think
But
Damien, even in the interview, specifically refers to the movie being 2 hours and 18 minutes long.
okay.
Exactly.
This must be the version.
Because people were, the interviewer was like, "You think your movie's too long?" And then he was like, 2 hours and 18 minutes, yada yada. People can finish a TV show in a day. They can watch a movie for 2 hours and 18 minutes.
That's a good point. You can fucking spend 10 hours streaming the goddamn Punisher. You can fucking put 2 hours into a good horror movie.
All right, boys, let's moving on here. What memorabilia are we taking away from Terrifier 2?
I'll take that Valkyrie costume. I've been looking for a gender swap fat Wonder Woman cosplay, and this is it.
I love it.
Seriously though, let me just be greedy. Since it might be a while before we see Art again, let me just take the entire torture bag. I want it all, even the fucking clown horn that's in there, especially with the torture basement of this new house I just bought. It looked so
you
good.
fix up your house with all that shit.
It'd be like a new rug in the living room, just with like added chunks of flesh and eyeball jelly.
Come look at the 10 beheading tools I have.
Obviously, the audience will never see your creepy ass fruit seller, but that fits
Shit.
fits the
if
bill.
they lucky, they won't see it. One lucky gal might just see it.
How about
There's
that?
a short film waiting to happen
That's
down there,
fine.
man.
One lucky gal, then another lucky gal, then another.
I will let you keep your bag of fun toys. Let me get that awesome Day of the Dead inspired wall art in Sienna's room that is clearly supposed to be Art the Clown.
I kept it easy. Let me get some of them Art Krispies. They just had the coolest fucking box art I've seen on cereal in quite a while.
A fucking razor blade in every bite.
Full of glass and worms, all kinds of shit.
We didn't even talk about that sequence where she like reaches her hand into the fucking box and she's having to dig through glass and shit.
All right, kiddos, get out the grade books. Let's hand out these letter grades to Mr. Leone, if you will.
So, boys, Terrifier 2 from 2022 did something I thought was impossible. It brought more blood and more guts. I may have not loved everything about this film, as I think I've laid out, but the simple fact that the way they were able to pull these many special effects off on a budget of $250,000 is just remarkable. And on top of that, being able to afford all the actors is just damn impressive. With all that being said, I'm very excited to finally be out of the art world and put his ass in the cupboard for at least the next few years, if we're all lucky, for the next installment of Terrifier 3 when it comes out. But I'm going to give this film a B-. As much as I want to hate it, I just can't.
This movie is capital B brutal. Some of these bits are super long. I think specifically thinking about the bedroom scene. You think it's over. You get about 30 seconds of not even hope, more just to catch your breath before the dread sinks back in and we get slapped in the face a little bit more. That being said, this is way funnier than it ought to be. It had me wondering what the hell is wrong with me. I was genuinely interested in the protagonist, which is super, I would say even beyond rare for most horror movies, let alone franchise horror movies. The magic bits may be a deal breaker for some, but like the ending in the OG, the series is surprising me. I'll take that over this rinse repeat shit any day of the week. We got a genuine modern horror villain and franchise. I can't remember the last time I was looking forward to a next installment in a running horror series, honestly. I'm happy to be caught up. I'm glad to be aware of Art and interested to see what happens next. It's tough to separate this from the first, probably due to recency bias, so I'm going to give it the same score. Here's your B+, Mr. Damien Leone.
Terrifier 2 brings everything that made Terrifier 1 so memorable. The practical effects, the makeup, the gore, the carnage, David Howard Thornton's performance as Art, and it just builds upon it. It's obvious Damien Leone has great admiration for his characters, and the world he's created, and Terrifier 2 feels like his gift to fans of Art the Clown. The score is even better this time around. There's an ambitious story and actual character development. Lauren Rivera as Sienna is an excellent final girl, and watching her transformation into a badass Tommy Jarvis type character was a treat to watch. This just might be the longest slasher movie ever, or at least in the running for that title. That's both a good and a bad thing. More Art the Clown is obviously a positive, but the movie is 2.5 hours long, and sadly, I don't feel we left this movie knowing that much more about Art than we did at the end of the original. And the pacing, holy hell, it has some filler. Like, yeah, sure, the payoffs are worth it, but it has some serious issues with filler. And there's so much left unanswered. Like, instead of this whole Molly sequence in the club, or the overlong sequences in the third act, why not tell me who the hell the Pale Girl is? Or explore the plot thread of Jonathan being obsessed with Art that was established in the beginning of the movie that wasn't even explored or used. Or even a little backstory on the sword that can somehow magically resurrect Sienna. It definitely needed a little trim here and some expansion there. They do try to establish something of a skeletal framework of a mythos, but it just doesn't land, and I feel we leave this movie with far more questions than answers. Something not very typical of a sequel. I guess we'll just have to wait for the third installment, which will clock in at 3.5 hours. While Terrifier 1 sets up Art's potential to be a modern horror icon, Terrifier 2 realizes and cements that status in what is bound to be a grindhouse cult classic. Terrifier 2 grades out to a B.
Alright, let's look at these audience fan score guesses. Joey picked this one, so he did not get a guess. Myself, I said 65. Ryan Hootie went with a 72. Actual audience score for this bad boy on Rotten Tomatoes is an 81.
That is wild.
80 fucking 1. That's pretty bananas, dude.
Hey, it's well earned.
And top that off, the critic score is even higher.
Honestly, that for me, that's the crazy part.
Yeah, I think it's about 85 or 6%
Wow,
of critics, which is
that's impressive.
nuts.
I almost think it's that new era of the Fast and the Furious critic, to where they know what to expect, and if they get what they expect, all right, thumbs up.
Yeah, I think the most like glowing review from like a top critic that I read was like, get a bunch of people who are into this kind of genre, go to the theater, and you'll have the time of your life, you know? Like, they're respecting it for what it is, meeting it on its own terms. I kind of appreciate that. It's not something you got in 70s film criticism. So, yeah, with that, we actually have, for the first time in quite a while, a random wheel to spin here, boys.
This is actually pretty exciting.
Looks like we're on 2014's As Above, So Below.
As above, so below. Is that a Creed song?
Never heard of this at all.
I think I heard Scott Stapp sing that one time.
Y'all got some exposure to this? I've never heard of it.
I remember faintly seeing the trailer. I think it's like some Descent knockoff.
I watched this in theaters, boys, so I have
Oh, shit.
a good memory of this.
Oh, who'd coming in
Blind
hot?
spot for me.
So, all right, folks, you want to play along? We're going to hop on YouTube and watch the trailer for As Above, So Below from 2014.
As above, so below.
Let's go.
My name is Scarlett Marlowe, and I'm a student in urban
Oh, it's found
archaeology.
film.
370
You know I'm a horror
feet
never mind, it's not
this
found
point
film.
is a hidden chamber that might contain
I
a
guess it
critical
is a
missing
found
piece of our
film.
history.
How are we supposed to get down there?
Catacombs.
Got to.
I know that guy.
The catacombs.
There are 200 miles of tunnels right underneath our feet.
He was in Mad Men.
Remains of 6 million corpses.
Mad Men, that's the dude from fucking Friday the 13th remake. Pussy.
Stop. This is the end.
God.
Talk about Mad Men.
Look at
We're
it.
talking about Mad Men. We're talking about.
The catacombs are wild, man.
Shh. I don't know. The world doesn't know. It's darkest secret.
Just crawl through that. That's fine.
Oh, that dude's fucked.
It's the fucking Descent, dude, all over again, bro.
What was that?
You know how terrifying that has to be.
I think I am. What the hell do we do now, huh?
We can't go back. We should just keep moving.
Oh, shit.
Tell me we didn't just go in a circle.
Got that damn Triforce on the wall.
Everything's upside down.
Fucking Link's down there with his sword.
Oh fuck!
Oh my god.
This might be the shortest review, just because they went through the tunnels again and again and again.
I used to play home.
You think this is the Descent? This is not the Descent. Y'all are way off track here.
Oh, what the fuck is going on here, Hootie?
Can you
How did I not hear about this at all?
It's, God, I remember everything about this movie now. Fucking A, man.
Oh, shit.
God, that's corny as fuck.
What the fuck was that?
Is somebody there?
Man, I'm getting scared.
It wasn't my fault. It wasn't my fault!
Well, I guess we know that guy's fucking dead.
As
Thanks,
above.
trailer.
God, this is a dog shit film. Man, why do I have to watch this again?
I feel like, just like with The Descent, this movie might surprise you. Or, you've already seen it, but I feel like it might surprise me.
The Descent is
The
actually
Descent has like
good.
S tier status. Everyone knows it's like a great movie now. I've never even heard of this, Joy. All right, boys, that's the trailer. Let's take a guess at a Rotten Tomato fan score on that bad boy.
Let me go with a cheeky, I'm going to say a cheeky 50%. Let's go. Let's stand on the fucking fence. I'm going to sit there with a fence post. They say you can't, like, stand on a fence post. I'm sitting there with a fence post in my mouth. I'm not going one side or the other. Let's go 50.
I've seen this film. I know this film. I don't want to see this film again. If I was the audience and I reviewed this back in, it was 2013, 2014, I'm going to go with a 23.
I'm going to go with what my gut tells me, leaning into my fours here. I'm going with a 44. All right, folks, thank you for listening. Check out the website, horriblefilmschool.com, to find links to all the podcast platforms and the socials. Give us a follow, leave a review, send us some big old containers of table salt. I'm going to say goodbye and offer my support to women giving out candy to grown men on Halloween.
As always, if you're hearing our voices, please tell at least one person you know. Spread the love, spread the campaign. Excited to be out of the world of art, and now I'm going into the world of the catacombs. See y'all boys on the next episode.
Thanks for the likes, follows, listens, shares. We appreciate your time and attention. Join us for our next episode, where we take a trip below in 2014's As Above, So Below. We'll see you in the next one. Class dismissed.